What's going on, my friends? Cubs fan Han here for yet another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. I'm super excited about this one. I need to invite you guys to not take life too seriously in this video because, my friends, we have a super scientific, uber calculated list of the top 10 worst characters in all of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. This is not scientific at all. It's totally subjective. But I want to hear what you guys think about the list down in the comments below. Tell me who you think shouldn't be here and should be. We'll debate this, but these are the ones that I came up with. I've got 10 characters here. Now, I'm going to have to admit, this was a bit harder than I thought it would be to come up with the worst 10 characters in the game. You know, I was looking through my roster, going through everything, and I just thought, I can find use for this character. I can find use for this character. That character I can find use for. A lot of it was characters that were useless to me because I hadn't geared them. But that said, these 10 definitely seem to find a way to stand out above the rest. And so without any further ado, let's get right into this list, my friends. We are starting with number 10. This is not in any particular order. Lobot. Now, everyone, yes, we're going to need to go over to Urzatron's channel. We're going to need to give him a pat on the back, calm him down. You know, it's okay. It's going to be okay. I know he loves Lobot. He brought us one of the greatest series in the history of Galaxy of Heroes YouTube, Lobot versus the Meta, which I still think is one of the funniest things that has ever hit Galaxy of Heroes YouTube. And that's great and all, but look, Urzatron, the reason why this was funny is because he sucks. He's so bad. Lobot is I know you've geared him up, but he's just absolute garbage. I mean, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He knows he's bad. He knows it. Is there any way that you look at this guy and know that he's not bad? Anyway, I also think it's funny, by the way, my friends, to look at the character descriptions that they have in SWGoH.gg. This is what CG has penned. Lobot is described as a rebel support that can reliably inflict defense down, clear allied debuffs, and speed up allied droids. Ooh. So anyway, we'll look at that for all the characters on the list. I think these descriptions, some of them you can kind of tell that CG was like, yeah, they're gonna suck. I don't know why we're even writing this. But other times it's like, it sounds like they're good, and no, they're trash. They're on my list of worst characters in the game. All right, let's get to the next one on the list. Number 9, Gamorrean Guard. And my man Gamorrean Guard, he is described as an aggressive tank that counters or taunts and counters with multiple damage over time effects. And that damage over time is definitely part of what people have tried to make work with Gamorrean Guard, sometimes trying him with Darth Vader, sometimes trying him with, you know, all sorts of characters. But I mean, look, if you look at him, there's just nowhere to really use this guy. And I think a big part of that is that he just doesn't really have factions to synergize with. He's just a tank and a scoundrel. That's it. There's nowhere else to really put him. Even though he's actually in a raid, he's just not really finding much use for him in a scoundrel team. Scoundrels are kind of, you know, I mean, where are you going to use him? You know, maybe as a backwall Grand Arena team if you have taken the time to max him out. But ultimately, his kit's just very simple. You know, not a whole lot going on there. So Gamorrean Guard showing up on the list at number 9. All right, let's look at number 8. Most useless character in the game. We have got Ewok Scout. Now, Ewok Scout, the one place I will say that there may be value in an Ewok Scout is if you're trying to unlock C-3PO. But that really depends on what you're looking at, and that's just a one-time use. Other than that, you're really not going to want Ewok Scout in your Ewok team. His character description is a powerful single-target attacker that becomes evasive with Ewok allies. I think that's really funny that he's described as powerful. Look at this power. I mean, I just want to see Ewok Scout go unlimited power. So powerful. All right, getting into the next one, number 7, we have got Kit Fisto. It pains me that I am still, after all of the Clone Wars attention we got, that this man right here, Kit Fisto, is still garbage at this game. There's just, I mean, some of the Jedi that suck in this game, I don't have them on the list because at least they've got a ship. Like Jedi Consular, not a whole lot of places to use him. That could change under Ki-Adi-Mundi. But Kit Fisto, there's just not much to do with this guy right now. There's so many other Jedi that are so much like, this is a big part of these Jedi, is that there's just not a place to throw them in. There's not a place that makes sense to use them because there's so many other great Jedi. Potentially, Cam will change that. I'm kind of hoping he does. You know, use some of these less used Jedi. I think his kit can kind of buff them up, and we'll have to see when we're able to test him. But Kit Fisto, he's such a cool Jedi, man. He's so cool. Make him good, CG. Come on. All right, so that's Kit Fisto, and let's look over at his description here. Versatile Jedi attacker with multi-attack counter trance and a variety of ally buffs. So he's versatile, but you don't use him anywhere. So in other words, he's not versatile. He sucks. All right. Number 6. Coruscant Underworld Police. Look, I know there's going to be some people that are sarcastically outraged. So I'm going to emphasize sarcastically, because the whole reason why Coruscant Underworld Police is so talked about is because he might be the worst character in this game. Although I did have a very heroic moment in Grand Arena recently, not Grand Arena, sorry, just on my stream doing Galactic War, where this fool right here was kept alive by Padme and Anakin, and we made it through the whole Galactic War. So he's great for Galactic War if you take him in with a Relic 7 Anakin. He'll work very well there. Now, one thing about Coruscant Underworld Police that I will give him credit for, though, is he does have a stun. And he does have the thermal detonators. So, you know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, I guess it's not even a thermal detonator. It's just a grenade that looks like one. I take that back. Yeah, he just deals with it. Offense down. Okay. Offense down isn't that bad of a buff, or debuff, but anyway. Coruscant Underworld Police in at number 6. Let's take a look at his ability description, or his character. Support that shuts down droid enemies with stuns and offense down. It's funny, it's actually kind of a funny theme in this game that a lot of the worst characters in the game have random anti-droid synergy, or synergy with droids, Lobot and Cup. That's just kind of funny to me. All right, next up on the list, we have got Mace Windu. Oh, he even has a capital ship, and I'm putting him on this list. Now, part of it, okay, if we were to run a tournament with all of the characters on this list, I think Mace would have a chance at winning the tournament. I think he would. But the reason why I think I'm putting him on this list, he's got probably the worst capital ship. Debatable, but I think he does. But Mace Windu, we deserve so much a rework for this guy. Why is he... I took him on the test account to Relic 7. This is the test account right now that I'm showing. I could not find a use for him. Relic 7. Could not. Now, I did mod him when I tried to get him to work, by the way. I just keep mods off on the test account. Not a place to use this guy. You know, and out of all of the characters in the game, and you can see, I mean, just look at his face. He is not happy about not having a rework. If there's any character in this game that deserves a rework, if we're going to make a list, you know, it used to be Grievous for a long time. I think Mace is now topping that list. I even have a hat down here. Look, I have a hat right down here. This hat was sent to me by a dedicated patron. It says, "Make Mace great again." You see that? You see that? Make Mace great again, ladies and gentlemen. We got to make him great again. Please, CG. Oh, hear our cries. Make Mace great again. All right, let's look at Mace Windu's description. It probably doesn't say badass mother. We'll see. We'll see if it does. All right. Oops. Wrong transition. There we go. Display. Aggressive Jedi tank with devastating damage if left unchecked. It's devastating. If you don't attack Mace first, my friends. If you don't attack him first, he will light you up. And when I say light you up, I mean he will make you laugh really hard with how undevastating this damage is. There's nothing devastating about this guy. All right, number 4, Jedi Knight Guardian. Oh, man, Jedi Knight Guardian. I mean, so I did get some use out of Jedi Knight Guardian early in this game because she was really easy to farm at first, and I was able to get her up high enough to get my first version of Yoda at 5 stars. That's about it. That's about the only thing, literally, I have ever done with Jedi Knight Guardian. Her description is tenacious Jedi tank with crippling debuffs and a natural recovery at low health. She will cripple you. Absolutely cripple you. I have nothing else to say about Jedi Knight Guardian. She will not cripple you. All right, let's get to number 3 on the list. It is Ugnaught. Oh, man. Ugnaught is right up there with Cup. Like, these two are the most legendary characters in the history of this game when it comes to characters that are just utter garbage. I have tried so many times to get Ugnaught to work just out of I feel like I owe it. I owe it to the community to find a way to make this guy work, especially after The Mandalorian, am I right? Oh, look at this. His basic. It deals 100% more damage and inflicts defense down to droids in particular. So defense down, decent debuff, but it's only going to work against droids. Again, random anti-droid synergy here. So anyway, let's see what else he's got here. 75% chance to inflict stun to droids. So that stun's great, but it's only going to work against droids, you know, because you're going to use him against droids. And then there's some more droid synergy. I just think it's really funny. All right, let's look at what Ugnaught is described as. This ought to be good. I actually haven't read this one yet. I didn't read them all. Okay, let's see here. Anti-droid support with AoE damage and high evasion against droids. All right. Well, at least they didn't say he deals devastating damage if left unchecked. We got to give him credit where credit is due, right, ladies and gentlemen? All right, number 2 is good. Are you ready for this? Mob Enforcer! I think the holy trinity of bad characters in this game is Cup, Ugnaught, and Mob Enforcer. They're like the most utter trash garbage characters in this game. Mob Enforcer, let's go check her out over here on the test account. All right, there she is. I actually have her at gear 12 on the test account just because, you know, why not, right? Oh, man. Let's see. Does she have anti-droid synergy? Okay, 80% chance to inflict defense down. Place a thermal detonator. Okay, that's the one. Thermal detonators are Mob Enforcer, not Cup. I mixed them up. No droid synergy. But she is a scoundrel, right? So maybe we could, you know, you can make a really bad scoundrel team with Mob Enforcer and Gamorrean Guard. But whenever an ally falls below 30% health, there's a 70% chance that Mob Enforcer will gain offense up for 2 turns. Love how basic these kits are. Oh, I think, you know, something else that's funny about these 3, Mob Enforcer, Cup, and Ugnaught, is I think they've been in the game since day 1, and I don't think their kits have once been touched for anything, except for, you know, they've had their gear upgrades as the game has progressed. So, Mob Enforcer. All right, let's see what Mob Enforcer is described as over here. This ought to be good. Scoundrel tank enemy with debuff ability and a thermal detonator. Yep, they knew she was gonna be bad. They knew from the very beginning. They're just like, nah, just write it out. This is what her kit does. You're literally never gonna use her. All right, now without any further ado, it is time to get to the number 1 character on this list. Even though it's not a ranked list, there's still anticipation, right? Can you feel it? Can you predict who the number 1 character is? Are you ready for this? Let's get to it, my friends. The number 1 character, the worst, most utter trash garbage character, is Bodhi. Bodhi is actually, and the reason why I actually included him at number 1, even though it's, again, not a ranked list. Once upon a time, I ran a worst characters tournament. Now, I did a bad characters tournament recently, and we advanced the winners. But like 2 years ago, I ran a tournament where the loser advanced. And Bodhi advanced every time and lost or won the tournament, however you look at that. He lost to everybody. Bodhi is absolute garbage. I think it's because of the Borglet, right? The Borglet knows the truth, right? Am I right? Let's see what Bodhi was described as. Bodhi was described as a clever rebel support who spots enemy units for his allies. Does he do that in his kit? I'm going to be honest. I don't think I even know this guy's kit. I just know that he's terrible. Bodhi. All right. I actually have a Gear 12 Zeta Bodhi over here. Would you believe it? So he's actually, okay, so he's got evasion down. Spotter. Okay, inflict enemy with evasion down for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. That's actually relatively useful. Target other ally gains offense up and potency up for 2 turns and is called to assist. That's actually not a terrible ability. It's funny. I think his damage is just so terrible. He removes 10% turn meter from all enemies, doubled on Empire enemies. It can't be evaded. How did this character end up being so bad? That's not terrible. When Bodhi is still active, rebel allies with offense up also gain 50% defense. At the end of his turns, Bodhi grants offense up. So he's dishing out offense. He can take turn meter off. He can inflict evasion down. I think he was supposed to be good. They just need to tune his damage up. That actually makes me want to take Bodhi to Relic 7 and test him out. See if we can find some use for him. 20% turn meter strip on Empire is not bad. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see what we can do with Bodhi. All right, so there's the full completed list. I don't think you guys will have to correct me, but I also don't think a single character on this list has actually received a rework in the history of this game. Other than, let's see, I don't think any of them have really had a rework ever. It's crazy. So, CG, we need to rework some characters on this list, especially Mace Windu, especially Kit Fisto. I'd like to see Gamorrean Guard get a rework at some point. I don't think he will, but I'd like that too. So anyway, what do you guys think about this list? Let me know down in the comments below. Who is your worst character? So if you were to take all these characters, who do you think is the #1 worst character in this game? I'm anxious to hear that as well. Thanks again for joining me for the video, my friends. Again, if you did enjoy it, leave a like. It absolutely helps the channel. And as always, my brothers, don't forget